two big films came out in 2016 that had everyone talking: Your Name and, ironically, A Silent Voice. And be assured that, unlike Your Name, I think A Silent Voice is definitely deserving of that chatter. Animated by Kyoto Animation, A Silent Voice is one of my favorite animated movies of all time, as it beautifully handles issues like anxiety, depression, redemption, and the value of human worth in a way not unlike this era's techniques, but worked in a fitting, sometimes stressful, sometimes melancholic atmosphere. When the difficult Shoko transfers to a new school, everyone slowly begins to haze and bully her, including a boy named Shoya. But when he goes too far and injures Shoko's ear, he's quickly hazed and bullied himself as a scapegoat. Years later, Shoya finds Shoko again and apologizes to her, intending to kill himself soon after. But instead, Shoya, in the spur of the moment, asks Shoko to become his friend. Soon enough, the two become steady friends, and begin to learn more about each other and about themselves, not all of which is lighthearted and happy as past faces begin to not show themselves once again. How will these two move on from their past grievances, and will there be any sort of closure to be found in the silence that looms ahead? It may just be me, but why don't more people talk about this movie? Is it because it came out the same year as Your Name? Probably, but both of these films work on their own merits and drawbacks that honestly don't warrant a ton of comparison aside from the release date. Is it because the story's not as strong or bombastic as other anime or movies? Probably not, as plenty of slice-of-life anime are successful in their own rights and have steadily done well to their action-oriented counterparts, including Your Name. Is it because it's a hard subject to analyze and tackle freely? Maybe, but that's not as big of an issue as people may think, as uncomfortable subjects are addressed every day in every media. Well, in any case, I am glad that the movie's gotten more popular in comparison to when it released. Don't get me wrong, it still got coverage, and it's still a loved movie by many. But I honestly think that this should have been the film everyone was talking about back in 2016. It's a tough movie to watch, and it does tread in many uncomfortable territories, but it shows those themes in a respectful and well-meaning angle, as we can see and feel the pain and anguish Shoya and Shoko go through in a down-to-earth but tragic light. Shoya and Shoko themselves are very sympathetic characters, both of whom go through their own traumas that warrant the depression and anxiety this society deals them. They have a very strong chemistry together, as Shoya sees the relationship as this "I'm ashamed, so reject me all you need" type of deal, while Shoko already acknowledges his apology and just wants to be his friend. It's a unique setup that creates this dynamic flow in their conversations, most of which is in sign language, that allows both of them to slowly adjust to the other's way of thinking and behavior. The animation is stunning. It's not as grand as Your Name's animation, but Kyoto Ani is a masterful studio in fluidity and color, and this film is no exception. The line work, the lighting, the camera angles, they're all visually serving a purpose, a prose to the greater meaning of the movie. The scene with the fireworks beyond the balcony serves as this grand climax of swirling colors in the midst of tragic realization, and it's one of the best scenes of the film solely for that draw and symbolism with the scenery. And thankfully, the story is the best part of the film. It's a simple but tragic tale of redemption and reconnecting with oneself through unusual but enlightening circumstances. The direction tells the story as if it was a simple little account that really happened, akin to Kyoto Animation storytelling. With that said, there are strong criticisms I have of the film. For one thing, as great as the story is, it isn't perfect. My biggest issue with the story is the elementary school teacher. He overlooks Shoko's bullying for the most part, but when it becomes a big problem, he goes off on Shoyo as if the rest of the class wasn't in on it, white knighting the situation. He's not even in the rest of the film, he's just an asshole teacher. Fuck this guy. The other characters aren't fantastic either, whether if they serve the story or not. The spiteful girl who wants the old Shoya back despite being one of the few who threw him under the bus is just plain mean, but understandable for the story, being a rightfully hated character. But then there's Shoya's friend, who's kind of annoying but not really movie killing. But then there are the friends who are chummy on the outside but save their own skin rather than own up to their faults. I mean, they're sufficient for the roles, but overall less interesting than the two leads. If anything, they actually demean the leads, as is a manipulation and liking them more by simply hating the conflicting cutouts, which is not ideal character writing. And then there's also Shoya's mood swings. While understandable, they can sometimes feel unwarranted and even kinda petty, leading on to a slight distaste for the character. They aren't too bad. As I said, they are understandable and gratifyingly cathartic when calling people out on their shit. They're just odd at times. But I really can't help it, this movie's great. The problems I have with the film don't affect the purpose of it, which is really about Shoya and Shoka's relationship to each other and themselves, showcased in wonderfully animated shots and character moments. And yes, the film was totally screwed out of the Oscars alongside Your Name. It's a beautifully terrifying film about the realities of society-induced anxiety and the melancholy in the journey towards redemption and self-worth. Take this review as a sign to go watch it for yourself.